what we discussed in the previous class? We discussed about tell me what we discussed in our previous class. Security settings. Okay, let's continue from that point. Okay, so we created the user. Okay, now I hope everyone understand the process of creation of a user. Okay, so if someone asks you what is the difference between role and profile, this is a standard interview question. Like if you go for any interview, you will get this question. There are some standard interview questions wherein people will ask the same questions again and again. So this is one such question. What is difference between role and profile? Profile is mandatory for creation of a user, whereas role is optional. Role is not mandatory. That is one difference. Second difference is using profile, okay, we can control the visibility of objects and fields, whereas simply we can say that object level and field level security can be controlled by profiles, whereas record level security can be controlled by role. Okay, so in this image only you are getting the answer for that question. If you say these 2 points, that's it, done for that question. So of course we will discuss in detail about these things. Okay, let me go to user again. So guys, have you faced any difficulty, any doubts while creating the user? Are you all successfully able to create the user? Okay. So you understood about licenses, you understood about the user creation. User creation contains profiles. Okay. See, with this what you can understand, from the user object, okay, we are choosing the profile. Okay. So it means profile is parent and one profile can be used by many users. Yes or no? Yes or no? Profile is the object which contains all the profiles. User is the object which contains all the users. And whenever you are creating a user, you need to choose any one of the existing profile. It means you are tagging this user to that particular profile. Okay. Let's see this practically. So we can see the existing profiles. Where can we see the existing profiles? We'll go there. Right. So in the setup, we are on setup only, that's why we are seeing the sidebar. So if you scroll down here, you can see manage users. Yes or no? Manage users. And if you click on the arrow in front of manage users, there you can see users, roles, profiles, all these things you can see here only. If you want to create a new user, then you will click on the users. Okay. And you will enter the details and then you will click on save, then you will be able to save the user. For example, if I ask you to create a field on the user object. Then where you need to go? You need to scroll down. In customize, there you need to click on user. There you can get all the fields of the user. There you can add one more field. Okay. So if you want to make structural changes, you will go there under customize. If you want to create data on the existing structure, then you will see. If I want to create a new field in user, then where I need to go? Under build, under customize, I can find users. Here I can find fields. So here I will create a new field, okay, or modify any existing field depending on my business requirement. But here what I am doing, manage users. Under this users, if I click, I am creating data for the existing structure with that we got by default by Salesforce. Okay, right. When I click on new user or when I try to edit any existing user, I need to choose the profile. So even though it is looking like a big list, okay, we have a separate object called profile that contains all the profiles. It acts like a lookup relationship only. So it is displayed like this because it's not written by us. It's not designed by us. It's designed by Salesforce. So they can show in a different way. Okay, fine. So now we need to understand in depth about profiles. So what we will do, we will just scroll down. Here we can see profiles. Click on the profiles. If you click on the profiles, then it will show you all the existing profiles that are present in your org. Okay, so then let us open one profile and see what are the details present inside that profile. Currently, what is your username? Your username is this one, right? This is your user. Your user currently is linked to system administrator profile. So that is the strongest profile. Means system administrator profile has the maximum permissions. Okay. So system admin can do everything. Okay. He has all the access to make any change on the system. So first let's go to the system administrator profile. So here if you see in this list view, it is showing 1 to 25 of 39. So total 39 records are there, out of which 1 to 25 it is showing. I can click on next to see the next page, or here itself I can change that I want to see 1 to 50 records on the same page. So in that case what happens, all the 39 will be visible on the same page. So here I can see the system administrator. Click on the system administrator. If you click on the system administrator, then all the details related to that system administrator you can see. Okay, so click on edit. Click on edit if you want to make change. Okay, so what you can change, let's see now. So first it is giving you the profile name, license, Salesforce license. Okay, whether it is a custom profile? No, it is not a custom profile. You have not designed it. So that's why this checkbox is not checked. If it is a custom profile, this checkbox will be checked. Okay. If you create a profile, then this checkbox will be checked. Fine. This is a system profile. So scroll down, custom app settings. So if you are a Salesforce system administrator, okay, if that is your profile, then what you should see in apps, one by one we will cover. First apps. Which apps? For example, here if you see, for all the apps visible is there. Okay. For example, if I remove this for all the apps, okay, for all the apps I am removing except sales app. At least one app should be default, because any one of the apps should be default, because whenever you are opening the page, something should display. So one should be there. So if not even a single app is there, then why to use Salesforce? Getting my point? At least one app should be there. So that's why it will not allow you to remove default. Okay. So if you want to change this default to some other app, yes, you can change it, but at least one should be present. So that's why it will not allow you to remove that. Okay, I have removed everything except sales app. Now if I save this, now see the difference. See, just by clicking on few clicks, how randomly it got changed. See, now you are not seeing the app menu itself because you have only one app, okay, and you don't have option to change to other apps because there is only one app. So it's directly giving you only the sales app related. See, it is directly giving you only sales app related tabs. It is not giving you an option to change also to other applications. Clear? So if for a certain profile, if you want to provide access to an app, check the checkbox. If you don't want to provide access, remove the checkbox. So here what changes I made changes to the system administrator profile. So I am the system administrator, so that's why I am seeing the difference. For example, if you are a read-only user, if you are a user with the profile read-only, and if I make any changes for that particular read-only profile, that will be applied to you. Okay, so the changes of the permissions, we will make it on the profile and we will link the users to the profile, so that if there are 100 users linked to that particular profile, all the 100 users will have the same level of access. Everyone will see the same thing. Okay. Now let me go to setup again. Let me go to manage users, profiles. In that, go to system administrator. So I made the change to system administrator, right? So let me open the system administrator, click on edit. Now if I make everything visible again, so only app level security we are dealing now. Other levels we will deal in next 5-10 minutes. Okay. Only app level we have made the change, so we have seen the difference on the app level only. Fine. So let me give back the access. So now after saving this, what you will see? See, you are seeing the sales app and all the other apps. Yes. So app level security on the profile, how can you give? Just by clicking on edit, and for which profile you want to, for this profile, which apps you want to make visible. See, there are two things. Whenever you are creating the app, in the last page, it will show you all the profiles and it will ask you to which profiles you want to give access. Here it is vice versa. Here when you are opening a certain profile, it will show you all the apps and which apps you want to see. Here also you can do, there also you can do. If you do there also, it will be checked here. If you check here also, it will be checked there. So at any place you can do. On the app creation page, if you are doing, you are focusing on that particular app. When I am creating a recruiting app, it is giving me all the existing profile names. These 39 profiles are present, right? So system administrator, solution manager, standard user, read-only user, like that different profiles are there. Whenever I am creating a new app, it is displaying me all the profiles. In front of all the profiles, if I tick the tick mark, then what happens? If you open each and every profile, inside that profile, in front of that recruiting app, the tick mark will be automatically ticked. Either you can do there or you can do it here. You can open each profile and inside the profile you can decide which apps you want to show, which apps you don't want to show. Okay. So here we are opening the profile and we are giving access to different apps. So here we have Lightning 3, recruiting lightning, recruiting, like that, different apps we created, all those things are displayed here. So app level security, clear guys? Shall we move to the next one? Okay. So now if you scroll down here, connected app access, like if you see here, and migration tool, data loader bulk, or data loader partner, force.id, Salesforce for Outlook, mobile dashboard, Salesforce touch, workbench. So if you check all these check boxes, then these connected applications you can access. So workbench is an external application. If you check this checkbox, then only you will be able to access data from workbench. Otherwise, you will not be able to access. Similarly, ant migration tool is a tool which is used to deploy the changes from one org to another org, from one sandbox to another sandbox. Currently, if your changes are in dev, if you want to move from dev to QA, or from QA to UAT, or from UAT to production, that can be done in multiple ways. Either you can use the standard feature provided by Salesforce, that is nothing but change sets. I will explain you later what is change set and all. So that is one way of doing. Another way of doing is through ant migration tool. Another way of doing is through Copado. Another way of doing is through GitHub. Okay. So like different ways are there to do the deployment. Okay. It depends on your organization's choice. In different companies, they follow different approaches. Okay. So that is nothing but data loader bulk. If you want to load data, first of all this checkbox should be checked. So then only you will be able to connect to data loader and load from data loader. Okay. So these checkboxes, if you check all these, then all the connected apps, you have access to connected apps. Otherwise you will not have access to connected apps. Next, if you come down here, whenever we are creating a new tab, okay, whenever we are creating an object, we always, what we have done, we have displayed the tab for everyone previously, but for certain profiles we want to show only certain tabs. Okay, so in tabs actually there are three different options: tab default on, tab default off, tab hidden. There are three options available for tabs. If you choose default on, then what will happen? That particular tab will be visible here. Default on means that tab will be visible here. If you put default off, then that will not be visible on the top, but if you click on plus, then you will get all the tabs, right? So there it will be visible. Default on means it will be visible on the top like this. Default off means it will not be visible here, but when you click on plus on the all tabs you can see it. But if you choose tab hidden, the tab will be hidden. You cannot see the tab. Okay. So for certain people you don't want to show certain tabs. Okay. Like for the system admin profile. Okay. Now again this also can be done in two ways. Whenever you are creating the tab, at that time it will show you all the profiles. To which profile you want to give access, to which profile you don't want to give access. There you can do, or here by opening one single profile, here it will show you all the existing tabs. So which tabs you want to put as default on, which tabs you want to put as default off, which tabs you want to put as tab hidden, that you can decide at one place. So for this profile, what tabs should be displayed, what tabs should be default off, what tabs should be hidden, that can be decided from here. Okay, so among these three you have to choose any one of them. Okay, so first of all it will show you all the standard tabs, means all the standard object related tabs. Then it will show you all the custom object related tabs. For all the custom objects I have given default on. For example, for candidates, if I put tab hidden, for candidates I kept a tab hidden. Okay, and let me save this. Now what will happen? Let's check. Okay. Okay. Now let me go to the I will just duplicate this page because I don't want to go back and forth. So okay, so here if I click on the recruiting app, see the candidates tab is not visible here. Previously it was there, yes or no? Because I made it tab hidden. Okay, let me click on plus. Candidates here, is it there? Control F. See here also it is not there because I kept tab hidden. Now what I will do, I will change it. I will change from tab hidden to default off. Okay? If I put to default off, then what will happen? Okay. Let me go to the recruiting application again. Okay. So here candidates tab is not visible here, but if I click on plus, then I will do Control F. Candidates is present. See here it is present. So difference between default on, default off, tab hidden. They will confuse you on this point. Difference between, directly they will come to this point like, can you tell me the difference between default off and tab hidden? Okay. So default off means it will not be visible on the top, but when you click on plus, all tabs you can see when you keep it on default off. But hidden means completely hidden. Remember like that. Hidden means completely hidden. Okay. Default off means by default it is off. But if you want, you can on it like that. Remember, because this point is very like an interesting question. People will ask you this kind of questions. Right. So now let's go to profiles again. So click on edit. So like this you can make changes for different tabs and you can see differences. Okay. So now what we have done? We have done the change on the apps. We have done change on the tabs. Okay. If you scroll down, there are some administrative permissions. So these administrative permissions, it is not allowing you to modify on the system administrator profile, because system administrator should have this access. But if you create your own profile, at that time you will have access to provide or not provide. It's up to your choice. Okay, these are the administrative permissions. So for other profiles, you can give it or you cannot give it. That's up to you. But for system admin, it is not allowing you to make changes on this. So currently what we are doing, we are making changes on the standard profiles which are given by Salesforce. Later we will create our own profiles. Okay. So many settings are there. Okay. After this, standard object permissions. After all the permissions, there you can see the standard object permissions. See here, for every object, read, create, edit. So CRED permissions, we call them CRED, C-R-E-D. Create, read, edit, delete. If you can remember CRED, remember. If CRED, remembering CRED also, if it is difficult, remember CURD. C-U-R-D, CURD. Create, update, read, delete. Okay. CRED means exactly matching this. Update and edit are same. Update or edit means same. If you want to remember like CURD, you remember CURD. If you like CURD, remember CURD. If you don't like CURD, CRED, C-R-E-D. CRED also a popular app. I think people will remember CRED. Credit card. Credit card. Okay. CRED. C-R-E-D. Create, read, edit, delete. Create, read, edit, delete. Okay. So, if you have read permission on a certain object, then you can view the records which are already present on that object. Okay. but you cannot create or you cannot modify or you cannot delete. If you have create and read permission, you can create and you can read the records, but you cannot modify the records, you cannot delete the records. If you have read, create, edit, see, if you either you can have only read, means only you can see, or you can have these two, read plus create, means you can see also, you can create also. You cannot have only create without read, because if you create that record, you should be able to see, yes or no? So without read you cannot give create, without read you cannot give edit, without read you cannot give delete, yes or no? Without seeing how can you delete, without seeing how can you edit, without seeing how can you create? So read is the minimum, okay? Read, after that if you want to give only create permission, so there will be some people who will have access to create, but they will not have access to modify. There will be some people who will have access to modify the existing one only, but they cannot create new records. If we give read plus edit, only read plus edit, then what will happen? That particular users who are having this particular profile will have access to view the record and modify the record, but they cannot create a new record on their own. Like see, in our position object, not everyone should have the option to create a new position, because it will have a financial impact on the company. But you can have access to modify the details on the position. Yes or no? Right. So next, delete. Delete permission we will not generally give to everyone who is really needing this particular access, who really need this access. Only for such kind of people we will provide the delete access. Okay. Then view all and modify all are there. I will explain about view all and modify all 50% now, 50% after completing the record level security. Okay, fine. So view all means if you have the view all permission, then you can view all the records. Otherwise, you can view only your records. Okay. That again, this is having some connection with the record type, record level security. So after that, I will explain you in detail. View all means if you have the view all checkbox checked, you will have access to view all the records. And if you have modify all, you will have access to modify all the records, irrespective whether you are owner of the record or not. Okay. These view all and modify all permissions are very powerful permissions. Okay. So generally we will not give this kind of permission to everyone. Only if this person is really suitable for that particular access, then only we will give that. Right now all these checkboxes are checked for me, and it is not allowing me to uncheck also, because currently I am in system administrator profile. If system admin he himself don't access, no access, how can he do anything? So that's why I am having all these checkboxes checked. We will see other profiles also. There you will have option to check uncheck. So we will see that. Now currently we are on system administrator profile. So like this, for every object, every standard object provided by Salesforce, all the standard objects, each and every object we can hide or show using these checkboxes. Similarly, if you scroll down, here you can see the custom objects. All the custom objects that I created, okay, either I can show them or hide them based on these checkboxes. Okay, similar thing for standard and custom. Next, if you come here, session settings, session timeout after 2 hours of inactivity. For this particular profile, if you log into Salesforce and if you don't move your mouse, or if you don't make any changes, or if you don't do any page refresh or any clicks or anything on the Salesforce org, just if you open Salesforce and if you go to YouTube and if you watch one movie, 2 hours gone. right? So if such situation happens, then automatically it will log off. So you can change that here. After how much time you want to log off. After 2 hours of inactivity, or after 15 minutes of inactivity, after 1 hour of inactivity. So on the profile you can make these level of changes. So you can make like up to 24 hours. That also you can put. That depends on your business requirement. Okay. Next thing, session security level required at login. If you want, you can put high assurance, otherwise you can just leave it normal. And here user password expires in how many days? See, for every user there will be a password, and that password, if you put 90 days here, what happens? You created a new password today, so after 90 days you need to change your password. Okay, after 90 days you have to change your password. If you never express, if you put never express, then lifetime you can go with the same password. Okay. Or if you put 30 days, 1 year, then if you put 30 days, after 30 days the password will expire and you need to reset the password. Okay. So depending on your business requirement, for whom, whatever you want to give, you can give. For this Trilog, for this system admin, you can put never expires because you are only using. But in real time, you will not put like that. You will give 60 days, 180 days, whatever it may be, 90 days as per the business needs. Enforce password history, 3 password remembered. See how this helps us, Today you have given a new password. After 30 days, like for example here you have given 30 days. Okay, here you have given 30 days. So after 30 days you need to reset your password. Yes or no? Right? So after 30 days you will reset your password. So the first password is there. After 30 days you have the second password. Okay. After 30 days again you will have the third password, right? So it will remember the last 3 passwords. Okay. So if you, while resetting, if you give the same old password, so first time I have given Naresh@123. Second time I have given Naresh@456. Okay. Third time again if I try to give Naresh@123, it will say that you are trying to give a password which is from the past 3 passwords. So try to give something else. Okay. So that is how it provides the security. So this also you can change. No password remembered means it will not remember any password. Okay. The same password again and again you can give. Okay. Or this one password remember, only the last password will be remembered. Or 2 passwords remember, like that how many you can give? Like that how many you can give?
24.
24 passwords. So this will be the strongest security. So what happens if you give 24 passwords? If he set a password now, okay, if you give monthly, so after 2 years he can repeat the password. Till that time he cannot repeat the same password. Okay. And if you give here 1 year, then what happens? After 24 years he can use the same password. Till that time he have to change the password. You getting my point here? So using these things you can tighten the security. Lot of security can be applied just through few clicks. If you want to achieve this level of security in any other technology like Java or .NET, you have to write lot of code. But here, with simple clicks, we are able to achieve lot of security. Okay, let's go with the default values. Now, minimum password length, 8 characters. You can change this also. I want simple password or I want complex password. You can put like my minimum password length should be 15 characters, like that. You can put so that user have to give a complex password. So the number of characters, if the length increases, what happens? Complexity increases. Because see, if my password length is 4 characters, okay, then A, B, C, D, like that, 4 characters multiple permutations and combinations. At some point of time, if you give all the values, one will be correct. Yes or no? But if your length is 15 characters, how many permutations and combinations will come? Yes or no? It will be very, very complex. So similarly, if you want to make your password complex and complex, then you will increase the length. This one, password complexity requirement must include alpha and numeric characters. You can put like password should include at least alphabet, at least one number. You can also put alpha, numeric and special characters. You can put must include number of uppercases and lowercase letters. You can include numbers, uppercase, lowercase and special characters. Include numbers, uppercase, lowercase and special characters. Like that you can decide the complexity. Okay? Clear? Next. Password quotient requirement. We are having a question, right? Security question, like in which place you were born, what is the location of your first job. Such questions are coming, right? So if you give your password and if your password is same as that security question answer, it should not allow, because by seeing that somebody can see your password. Password have masking. Masking means whenever you type the password, it will not show the letter, but instead it will show the dot, right? So we are masking the password, but security question we are not masking, right? So what happens if you type the same password there, somebody might look at it. So password quotient requirement cannot contain password. Okay, none means it can contain. We generally go with the cannot contain. Maximum invalid login attempts. Here this one also we can decide. Like maximum invalid attempts. Like for example, for our ATM card, what is the maximum invalid attempts? 3. If you enter wrong password for 3 times, ATM card will be blocked or not? Yes or no? Similarly here, we can decide after 3 times or after 5 times or after 10 times. Or no limit. If you put no limit, any number of times he can try. But generally we will not put no limit, because see what happens. People will use some other software to randomly generate the password and they will hit the system. Okay, hacking can be done if you give no limit. But if you give 10 or 5, then what happens? They can create so many combinations, but they can try only 10. They can try only 5. After 5 or 10, what will happen? It will block. So they will not be able to log in. Then you need to request the system administrator to reset the password. Getting my point? Once it is locked, you cannot reset on your own. Once it is working fine, then only you can reset on your own. The password is working fine, and if you forgot that, then forgot password will work. If it is locked like this, you cannot reset on your own. You have to send an email and request the system administrator. All these are password related things. I think you are feeling bored. Okay. Sir, my pick list not see the Salesforce. Yesterday I covered this multiple times. Again, same question. Okay, let me answer her doubt. Okay, now listen carefully. Yes, focus here. I am explaining your doubt. One speaking high. Yes. Yes, are you there? Okay. Fine, yes. Look at my screen. See, Salesforce we are using Salesforce Developer Edition, which will give you only 2 user licenses. I have created Naresh IT. I have created Ram Setu. Okay. After that, what I did after creating Ram Setu, I made it inactive. So now if I want to create a new user, I will get the Salesforce license. But if I make the Ram Setu active, okay, if I make the RAM switch active, then even I will not get the access to create a new user. So if I click on new user, see now I cannot see Salesforce here. So what you need to do for your problem, you already created 2 users, right? Except this user which has the system admin which you logged in for the very first time. Go to the other user, and in the other user you uncheck this active button, okay, and click on save. Then you can create one more user. Okay, is your doubt clarified? Yes, is your doubt clarified? Oh, fine. Others, is it clear about profiles till this point? Till this point it's clear, right? So now what we have done, we opened the system administrator profile, and then we clicked on edit, and then we discussed all the options available here till the end. Okay, now without edit also there are some options that are, before clicking on edit, here I can see the name, license, all these things. Along with this, here page layouts it is showing me. It is showing global, email, application, home, account, like this. See, every object, every standard object, every custom object will have page layouts, yes or no? So what I can do here, I can go to any one object's page layout. So these are all my custom objects, right? View assignment, if I click on view assignment, so it will take me to that particular object's page layouts edit assignment. Okay, so you know, you have seen this page earlier. See, India record type different assignment, USA record type different assignment. I have already done this. Okay, so similar thing you can do from the profile. So here edit assignment, and you can decide, like for system admin profile only you want to show this India and USA. For other profiles you don't want to show these. So for example, standard user profile is there. Click on that. Okay, and okay, change here to candidate layout and save. Now what happens? That is changed to candidate layout. So whichever thing you want to modify, select that one, and on the top you change. Okay, then you can change it. So if you log in with the standard user, then you will not see the India page layout, you will see the candidate page layout. So we can have different page layouts for different profiles. Guys, focus, little bit focus. Okay, we can show different page layouts for different record types. We can show different page layouts for different profiles. Okay, clear till this point? Let me go to the profile. So on the profile here we have all the page layouts. We can decide which page layout we want to show to which person. Below that we have field level security. For every object, in front of every object you can click on view. For example, here we have our custom objects like a candidate, position, all these are there, right? So if I click on view in front of candidate, then it will show me this. Click on edit. So which field you want to show, which field you don't want to show. If I uncheck this, then what happens? Then users with this particular profile will not have access to this field. So I am capable enough to remove the entire column for a particular profile just with one click. Yes or no? Here we have two things again. Read access, edit access. If you have only read and if you don't have edit access, that particular field, other fields which has both the ticks, that you can see also, modify also. For the field for which you have only read access, For that particular field, you can only see but you cannot modify. But if you have both read and edit access, then you can see also, you can modify also. So each and every single field we can control on the profile. Clear? Clear till this point? Next. We have discussed page layout. We have discussed field level. Okay, object level, field level, page layout, app level. So all these things are what? Structural changes, right? Those things we can control through profile. But the record level can be controlled through profile? No. So in this, all these settings I am showing, but nowhere I am explaining or showing you about records. Because record is an individual data. Data level security I cannot provide through profiles. Through profiles I can control the object level security, field level security, app level security, these kind of things. But the record level security we will be able to achieve through these features. Profiles and permissions are for object level, field level. Record level we have other features that we will discuss later. Now focus on the object level and field level, which we are able to see all these settings. Okay. Object level permission. Which object you want to show, which object you want to hide. All these things. If you open any profile and then if you scroll down completely, all the fields, once all the fields are done, then below this you will see some related lists. In this related lists, if you click on edit in front of login hours, I can decide on Sunday from which time to which time the user should be able to access. On Monday, which time to which time. Like that on every day, which weekday, what time to what time he should be able to access. For example, if I give Monday from morning 9 a.m. to evening 6 p.m. If I give and save, then what will happen? Then only on Monday he will be able to access from this time to this time. On other days he will not be able to access. But for example, if I give the same thing on all the 5 days, week 5 days. Okay, so only during office hours from Monday to Friday, the user who is associated to this profile will have access to the system. On Saturday and Sunday he will not be able to access the system. Okay, and on working days also after 6 p.m. he will not be able to access. Okay, now interviewer will ask you a question like, okay, I have given this timing. After 6 p.m. he will not be able to access. But this person logged in into the system exactly at 5:55 p.m. Whether he will be able to access or not? Yes, it is below 6, so he will be access. So he logged in and he is currently working on. So exactly at 6 what happens? Will he be automatically logged out or he will continue until he completes his work? Automatic logout will not happen.
Login now.
So login, when you try to log in by giving the username and password, it will stop you after 6. After 6 you cannot log in. But you have already logged in until that session is over. You can keep that session activity there, right? 2 hours or 1 hour that you decided. So based on that it will work. If you log in at 5:59 also, if your session activity is 1 hour, then till 6:59 you will be able to log in only. But after 5:59, if you start newly, if you want to log in, you cannot log in. You are getting my point? After 6, newly you cannot log in. If you have already logged in, it will not log you off automatically. Okay? So that is how the system behaves. These are the interview questions. Like, see, you know this, you learn this concept, but in the interview they will ask like this. You will tell mistake. it happens generally. So this is about login hours. So login hours where we can set login hours, we can set on the profile. On the profile only we can set the login hours. So the point is, for one profile people we can say that you can log in only from 9 to 6. But for a different profile people we can say that you can log in 24 hours. Okay, this applies to only that profile people, not for everyone. Okay, clear? Next, if you go down here, we can see along with login hours, you can see IP range. This IP range is also specific to that profile. For that particular profile, if you provide the IP range, okay. So what is the default IP range across the globe? 0.0.0.40 to 255.255.255. Sorry, 4, only 4. So this is the entire IP range of the world. So if you use any system, any laptop or any electronic device, it will have some IP. That IP will be within this range, entire globe. We will not give this generally, because if you give this or if you don't give this, there is no difference, right? If you are allowing everyone to access from anywhere, but if you want to access only within the office, and if you don't want the user to access outside the office, in your office if there are 10 systems and they will have some IP addresses, right? So all those IP addresses will be in certain range starting from 1 to 10, like that. So that range you will provide here. So then what will happen? Only within those office systems he will be able to access. Outside he will not be able to access, even though he has the correct username and password. Okay. So, and this applies to certain profile. This applies to certain profile. Okay. So if one profile is having this kind of limitation and another profile is not having this limitation, that guy will be able to access from outside again. Only for this profile this will apply. Okay. So like this, so many settings are there. If you see enabled Apex class, you have some Apex classes, and if you want to give access to that Apex class only to certain profiles, you can give access. If there are some Visualforce pages, if there are some named credentials, if there are some data sources, so all these things metadata types. So if you are giving access, then only that guy will be able to view, otherwise he will not be able to view. So now we discussed about the system admin profile. So now let's discuss about some other profile. So now you will see the difference. Let me go to read only profile. Okay, if I open the read only profile, and here if I click on edit, see here on the read only profile, for so many you are seeing default off, tab hidden, and also so many administrative permissions are not given. Okay, and if you want you can give. Okay, and here see objects, for many of the objects access is not there. If you want you can check the checkbox, if you don't want you can uncheck the checkbox. Okay, see, for all the custom objects we have not given any permission to the read only user. For this profile we have not given permission to any of the custom objects. So that's why if you log in as a read only user, you will not see any of the custom objects, right? So all these things are common, like whatever you want to put you can put, decide and put. Okay, so now we have seen the existing profiles, how it works. Now can we create our own profile? Yes, we can create our own profile, but in a profile there are so many settings, right? So generally what we will do in our business requirements, if business asks us certain settings, then first of all we will think and we will see these requirements which are given by business are near to which existing profile. So click on new profile, then you can choose any one of the existing profile. So if you want to create a new profile, and majority of the settings are similar to the system admin profile, then you will choose this one. Or the business requirements are very similar to this read only, then you will choose that one and you will create your own profile. Okay, so let me choose read only, and let me create my profile called manager profile, like that I can create. Okay, I can create my own profile. After I create my own profile, so exactly what are the permissions that are there on the read only, those will be copied here. And now whatever changes I want to do, I can do. So all the custom objects I have not displayed. Recruiting app, where the recruiting app is there, yeah. Recruiting app is there, but custom objects I have not given. So let me give all the instead of view all modifier will deal later. Create okay, right. Okay. Fine. You can give whichever level of access you want. Then you can save this. If you log in as that user, then you will see only those objects, not all. Okay. So that is the, see here when you go to profiles, along with the existing 39 profiles, one new profile got added, and now we have total 40 profiles. How can you identify our custom profile? See, custom checkbox is there only for our profile. For others, custom checkbox is not there. Clear? Okay. I think I need to stop here and give some pause, otherwise you cannot grasp. So what we have discussed till now? First of all, we understood that a profile is nothing but a group of settings. All settings, it is very difficult to give to individual users one by one. So all the settings we are putting together and we are naming it as a profile. And whenever you are creating a user, you are associating that user to this profile. So under one profile, there can be so many users. For example, that how can I do? See, if I open the profile, here click on view users. On every profile you will see this button view users. Click on that view users. Here you can see what are the different users that are linked to this particular profile. From here you can add a new user. Okay, you can create a new user or you can add an existing user. Add multiple users, click on this and this later. You can add users to this profile from here, or on the user you can choose this profile. Both ways you can do. Here also we can add. Okay. System admin profile we discussed. Read only profile we discussed, and we discussed also creation of a new custom profile. So try to understand profile. Now I will give you some time to do the profile. Okay. After that, we will discuss about permission sets. Permission sets and profiles have a connection. Okay. See, here I discussed that profiles and permission sets are related to object level and field level security, right? So let's cover these two at a time. In the next class, we will discuss about the record level security. Okay? Is it fine now? I can understand your grasping levels are decreasing. Okay? Take some break. After the break, you practice these profiles. Okay? then we can check the permission sets. So after permission sets, we can close the session for today. Okay. So take some break, and now it is 8:53 in my time. When can you come back? 9:15. Okay. By 9:15 you come back. Okay. College. There will be a placement cell in your college. They should have good influence, and they will call the IT companies to recruit you on campus. So the first mode is on campus. Okay. So that happens only if your college is a reputed college. Okay. If your college is having very good brand image, then companies will come directly to your college, and there they will do the interview process. Okay. There how it will happen. The first process I will tell, then other processes I will explain in detail. So for in that one, so the competition is very less, because only your college students will be there. Okay. And once they are coming for campus recruitment, they are not coming there to hire 1 or 2 people. They themselves are coming 4 or 5 people to interview. At least they will take 50 to 100 people. They will not take 1 or 2 people. So the competition is within your college team members, within your college members. So if you have good communication skills, and if you have good interpersonal skills, what is the difference? Communication skills and interpersonal skills. If you have an idea in your mind, if you are able to express that idea in a fluent way in English, okay, then we consider it as a communication skills. Basically, expressing your thoughts is communication. That can be done in your mother tongue, that can be done in English also. But here, why we need English? Because we are dealing with global clients. Okay, if we are dealing with our clients who are there in Hyderabad only, then if you know only Telugu, then only English, some only Hindi, that will be fine. But you are going to deal with global clients once you get into a job. So that's why they ask you some basic questions like, can you tell about yourself? Okay. Then you need to express about yourself in certain basic level of English. So that is basic requirement. Second thing, they also assess your technical skills by asking you some technical questions. They also assess your psychometry test. Some people call it psychometry test, or your psychology basically. What kind of a person you are. If some problem comes, how you will react to that. So suddenly if a snake enters into this room, different people will react in a different way. Some people will run away from the problem. Some people will do some heroic activity, like they first try to save some other person. Okay. Some people will attack the problem. Okay. So different people have different mindset when a problem comes. Okay. So they will give you such kind of situations, and they will ask you to think and give an answer. Okay. And that answer should should create a positive impact to the organization. It should not give a negative impact to the organization. In such way, you have to answer. Okay. So the first round is written test. That written test will contain basic English communication, along with that arithmetic, along with that logical. Sir, where can I get these questions? Indiabix.com is a website. Indiabix.com contains questions. Mostly that helps you in clearing all the campus interviews. Different companies, you can appear for any company. Majority of the questions will be from Indiabix only. Okay, you go through that. And there will be some other websites also. Okay, this is one thing that you cover completely, and if you have time, you can cover other websites also, where you can get arithmetic, reasoning and logical questions. So that, and English also. Okay, so with that, if you are able to clear the first round, then they will ask you to attend the second round. The second round will be group discussion. Group discussion means there will be a round table, okay, round or oval shaped table, wherein nearly 10 to 15 people will sit around the table, okay, and there will be one person who will be guiding you to what to speak and what not to speak. So that person will give you a topic. For example, is it good for a company like is it good for a country like India to invest money in Chandrayaan 3? We have so many hungry people in our country. Our country is a country with a lot of poor people who don't have food to eat. Now, do you need to invest money on Chandrayaan? Why you want to go to on moon? Why you want to go to moon? Okay, so for this point, there are positives, there are negatives. You should be capable enough to speak in both ways. One side you should speak that okay, going to moon for space exploration is good for so and so reasons. You need to tell that positives also and negatives also. Okay, we don't need to invest lot of money there because we have so many other problems to deal with. So both ways you should be capable enough to tell something. Okay, and this runs like this, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 15 people are there, for example. They may give you in two different ways. One way is like they will just give you the topic and they will just observe. Anyone can talk at any point of time. That will be difficult. There are two ways in which they will do the group discussion. One way is organized way, wherein they will ask one by one, tell, next you tell, next you tell, like that. So you can give your points. That will be easy. Because in a group discussion, getting the points is not difficult. Getting the time and space to express is difficult. What happens? In a group of 10 people, there will be 1 or 2 people who have lot of confidence, lot of communication skills. They will, they will only speak. They will not give space for others to enter into that conversation. If we both are speaking, I am telling one sentence, he is telling one sentence, again I am telling, again he is telling, both of us are discussing. He has a point, but he will not get that gap to enter in between. So that will be the most difficult thing there. Then you should have some kind of skills, like first, if you have some point and we both are talking something, suddenly if you start your point and if you enter in between, it will be like you don't have manners and you don't know how to enter. So there is a way to enter also. So how you can enter, either one point, if you like my point or if you like his point, you can join that point, like, yes, I agree with that point and I would like to add a point to that, and then you can tell your point. Okay, like that you need to enter in a polite way. You should not argue, discussion is different, argument is different. You should enter politely into that discussion and then you should tell your point, and you can also take the opposite side. If he says that is good, you can say that is bad, but you should be able to convince and tell that politely along with a reason why you are saying that is wrong. Okay, in that way you need to deal with the group discussion. Once the group discussion is done, then if you are selected in that, so out of 10 they will select 3 or 4 depending on your performance. Then you will be going to the technical round of discussion. In the technical round, he will go through your resume. In your resume, whatever things you mentioned, so he will ask those things. So generally, the majority of the people, what mistake they will do, they will not spend even half an hour to prepare the resume. Just they will copy from their friend, they will change the name and give the resume. That mistake you don't do. If you want to copy it, not a problem. But read each and every line in that, understand each and every line in that. So resume is nothing but your information. Okay, you have enough age to do a job, like you have 21 years of age, you have 16 years of education, and that single page or 2 pages resume is a representation of your capabilities. So it should explain about you. It should not explain about something else. So what is present in the resume and what you are speaking, there should be some correlation. Okay. So whenever you are copying something from some other person, you read that sentence, and if you don't understand any word, Google it and keep it very crisp and clear. If you think that this is complex, don't put it in your resume. Only what you know, put it in the resume. And how the resume should be? The resume should be like this. First, what is your goal in your life? Like, what is your main goal in your life? What you want to do? Okay. Then you will put your technical skills, like you know how to use Windows operating system. You know how to use MS Office. You know how to use MS Word, MS PowerPoint, all these things. Okay. You know how to work on C language in college or wherever you learn. I know basics of C language, like that. If you know Salesforce, you can put in that I know Salesforce, like that. Whatever technical aspects you know, you can put. Okay. Then you can put your other skills, like you know Telugu, you know English, you know Hindi, languages you know, and what are the qualities in you. Like if I give a homework, then you are doing it correctly, means you have that commitment to do the work. So you put that point as, if a task is assigned to me, I take the responsibility to complete the task on time. Okay, so that is a good quality. And if you come to class on time, then you can put that I have good punctuality, I will come to class on time. Okay, and if you if you don't take leaves much, and if you are very attentive, if you attend the classes regularly, so like that you can tell that as a positive point, that you know I never put leaves quite often, so generally I attend regularly, so that I will contribute better to the organization, so that you can say. So like this, what are the positive points in you can mention. And also you can mention about your education, like you are from which college, what percentage you acquired, and then you know intermediate 10th where you completed, what is the percentage, college name, details you will put. And after that, in your college you might have done a project, right? So explain about the project, what is the theme of the project, with that project what you are going to do to this society. Okay, explain the theme of the project, and in that project what are the technical things that you have done in the project, that also you need to tell. Along with that, see, if you are a person who completed your education in computer science, then if you tell about your project, that will match the requirements of a IT company. But if you are from civil engineering, your project is to construct a house. That will be your project. But how can you apply that and convince this IT company? What you need to there focus less on the technical aspects, focus more on the functional aspects and other aspects, like interpersonal aspects. Like you know, if you are a part of a construction of a building, then you need to have certain skills. Like only if you are good at your civil engineering drawing, that is not sufficient. You should be capable enough to communicate with the labor, you should be capable enough to handle the money. Okay, you should have certain skills to deal with people and convince. There will be conflicts between people, so two laborers, they are fighting. Okay, you should be capable enough to convince both of them and make sure that the work completes on time. So these are all are different kinds of skills. So these all skills you need to highlight. You need to do introspection first. So what are the skills that are in me? How can I highlight them? So these things you will do. So all these things you will put in your resume. Okay. So in this way you will do for fresher. Okay. After this technical round, there will be HR round. In HR round, again they will ask you tell about yourself. Whenever they are asking you to tell about yourself, generally I see that girls do this mistake. What girls do this mistake, What's your name? Tell me. Bhavana. Okay. So if Bhavana is a candidate who is attending for an interview, don't take it seriously. I'm just telling how generally girls make a mistake. It's not specific to you. So hi, my name is Bhavana. I am from which place you are from? From Andhra, okay. I am Bhavna, I am from Andhra. My father is my strength, I like my brother, I am good at cooking. Like this, they will tell that their strength lies in some other individual. Okay, you never try to do that. Okay, you tell that your strength is there within you. Okay, if you say that I am a good cook, I can cook any item. Yes, that is great. That is your strength. If you say that my father is my strength, my brother is my strength, like no, that's not correct. Because your strength lies in other person. Then he thinks that I am giving you salary, I want you as my employee, I want the strength within you, not in your brother or in your father. You understood, right? Generally people do this thing. Girls generally, they say that my family is my strength, I am very helpful to my family. Whenever any one of the person in my family cries, I will also cry. No, these are not strengths. Okay? No, I am not kidding. So this, I have seen a number of people doing this. That's why I am telling. Okay? Don't do this mistake. Okay? Tell the strength within you. And they will specifically ask you about what is your weakness. Tell the real weakness, but it should not have an impact on the office work. If you tell that sleeping is my weakness, I sleep 15 hours a day. If you tell this weakness, then they will be afraid of giving a job to you, because even in office also you may sleep. Your weakness should not impact the work. Tell your weakness like that. I like some particular hero. If that hero movie comes, I will go and watch. Okay? But I will watch that only on weekends. But I will not watch that on working days. If you tell this answer, then he will understand that okay, there is some weakness, but that is not going to impact your work. So in that way you need to tell. So with this, if you can clear all the rounds, you will get a job as a fresher. After getting a job as a fresher, once you join the organization, then they will start giving you training. Okay? They will treat you that you don't know anything and they will start giving you training. But that training is so complex that you will not understand anything. But the exam is so complex that exam, only if you know everything you can pass that exam. It will be like that. Okay? It's like finding a girl without makeup but beautiful. It's so complex. Okay? It is like that. It is like that. So, in the office, whenever some task is given to you or when some exam is given to you, it is so complex. They expect you to learn every concept. Then only you will be able to answer that. But their explanation and their teaching is like not that great. Basics they will tell. Okay. So you need to put your 100% effort in those days, and only people who have good communication skills can succeed, because in college you might be a topper. You don't depend on anyone. You read on your own and you pass. If a person like me, I'm not a topper, I don't have that much knowledge, but I will talk with everyone. So what I can get important questions, last year paper, all this information I can get. So easily I can pass. You are a topper, but you don't have this kind of actionable information, so difficult for you to pass. Okay? So once you join, try to interact with everyone around you. Okay? Interacting means ask their information, don't tell your information. Okay? Interacting on the first day itself, don't tell that my name is this, my phone number is this, come to my home. No. Don't give your information. Ask information from them, gather information from others. Okay? So this is for freshers. For experienced guys. Ideally, if it is 2 papers, that's good. 2 pages, one side. So it's always good to have only one side of the paper. Other side you keep it blank and have it on the second page. 2 pages resume is good for you. My resume will contain 10 pages. My resume will be 10 pages because I have so many years of experience, so many projects, so many things. My resume will be 10 pages. But for you, 2 pages resume is ideal. Of course, I can also put it in 2 pages, but if I want to elaborate, I will elaborate. Based on the other person's requirement, I will change it accordingly. Okay. So that's it for, freshers and, let's come back to the topic. So, after completion of the training, okay, experienced people contact me individually, like one by one. We will have one-on-one session for experienced people. Okay, experience means if you have gap in your education, how to deal, then I will tell you. So that's a separate track. For freshers, that is a separate track. For freshers, even though you are learning Salesforce, there is no guarantee that you may get a project in Salesforce. After getting into a job, they may train you on something else, and you should be open for everything. You should be open for everything. They may put you in a very old technology, or they may put you in a very advanced technology. You don't have any option, you don't have any control on the location, on the company, on the technology, on the project. Everything company will decide, you have to accept. See, in the first stage of your career, you have to accept whatever they give. After 2 years of experience, you will demand. After 2 years of experience, you will demand. I want this much package. I want Hyderabad only. If you give Bangalore, I will not go. Like that you can decide. But first 2 years, you need to agree and accept whatever they give. Okay? So we'll come to this topic later. Whenever you are trying to apply for a job, I will give you some more details on this. So now we know how to create a new profile. Okay? So now let's do a continuation for this one. Okay, let me explain that also, then you can do the homework at your home. So write down the point, like you need to do a homework on understanding the profiles by opening existing profiles and view the different kinds of settings available on the profiles. That is first thing. Second thing is create a new profile. Whenever you are creating a new profile, we always choose an existing profile which is near to this one. Okay, so that only with minimum clicks we should be able to achieve our business requirement. So that is our agenda. Okay, clear till this point? So now, now the problem is you have profiles concept. With the profiles concept, for sales representatives you created one profile and you gave a certain kind of settings. For manager you have created a different profile and in that there are certain settings. Okay. For example, let's consider the manager profile. In the manager profile, you have certain level of access. It means, for example, if there are 100 managers associated to this profile, all the 100 managers will have the same level of access. Okay. So this is what the system that is present till now, what we have designed. Okay. Now, out of those 100 managers, there are 2 managers who should have extra access because they are seniors. We want to give extra access to only 2 persons. Then there are 2 ways to do this. One thing is create another profile called senior manager and assign those 2 users to that profile. That is one way. But for only 2 people, why should I create another profile? There is another setting available in Salesforce, that is nothing but permission sets. So using permission set, what we can do is we can enhance the access of a user. Okay, you can enhance the access of a user which he is already getting through the profile. You cannot reduce the access of a user which he is already getting through profile by using the permission set. So there are 100 people, 100 managers. All the 100 managers have one kind of access, and out of those 100, for 2 people you want to give extra access. For that one, we will create a permission set. That permission set is also exactly same like profile only, but in the profile all the settings we will do, but in the permission set only those 2 extra settings we will put, and that extra settings we will assign to only to these 2 users. For other users we will not assign the permission set. then what will happen? Those two users will have the extra access, remaining 98 people will not have the extra access. Okay, but using permission set, you cannot reduce the permission which he already got through profile. Okay, if through profile he got some permission, he already has that permission. On top of that, if you want to give extra permission, you can give it through permission set. So how to create a permission set, how to give extra permission, let's see. Now, right now, Ram Setu is there. He is having read-only profile. Let me activate this. Let me activate this user Ram Setu who is having read-only profile. Okay. Now, I want to create a permission set. Okay. I want to create a permission set. Where can I see the permission sets? Here only under you manage users, permission. Here we have gone to profiles and users, right? There only you can see the permission sets. Okay. If you click on permission sets, so then you will see some existing permission sets. I want to create a new permission set. Click on new. You can give the name as per your requirement. Okay. Now I want to give extra permission for a read-only user. The user who is having read-only profile, for that person I want to give. Okay. License, Salesforce license. Okay. Save. Right. So here, this is the permission set. Here, on the apps you want to give, on the connected apps, on the objects, where you want to give. I want to give on the objects. Okay. Currently, okay. See here. Let me click on edit. So object settings. Okay, here we have different objects, right? So let me go to Control F, position. Okay, so positions object, let me click. No access. So currently for read only profile there is no access for position object. Now I will click on edit, and what I will do, I will click on the tab. So I want to provide the tab also, and I also want to give read, write, create, read, edit, create permission. Okay, and which fields I want to give access, that also I will specify. Okay, like some fields I will give. Okay, some fields I did not give. So only these fields will be shown to that particular user who is having this kind of profile. So now who is that user for me? Here let me go to the user. Okay, I have just created the permission set. After creating the permission set, what I need to do, I need to go to the user. Okay, and then here scroll down. Here you can see permission set assignment. Click on edit assignment and assign the permission set. What is my permission set? Name. The name of my permission set. Buyer, seller, user. What is the name I have given for the permission set?
Extra.
Okay, 1 second. Why it is not coming? Let me go to permission set. Okay. So where is this? Extra permission for read only, right? Edit properties. Now let me go to users. Now simple. And here permission set assignment, edit. See this extra permission for read-only user. Add. So this permission set I am adding to this specific user. Okay. So go to the individual user and add the extra permission and save. Now what happens for this user? We have this extra permission set. Okay. So what is profile? What is permission set? What is the difference between profile and permission set? Is it clear, guys? Okay. Using permission set, can you reduce the access? No. You can only enhance the access which he already got to profile. Okay. Now what I want you to do is practice these profiles, permission sets. If you want more details and notes about this one, the document which I provided you, that has all the details, like which profile you need to create, which permission set you need to create, with the screenshot step by step. It is present in the document. You can try doing that. If you have any difficulty, if you have any problem, you can ask me Monday. Okay. So I want you to complete profiles and permission sets. Then if I explain the record level access, then you will understand. Because if you don't understand this and if I start that, it will create confusion. Okay, that's why I'm stopping here. I want you to practice this and come back on Monday. Clear, guys? Any question till this point? If you don't practice,